The Locked On Podcast Network presents the College Sports Big 3 in 30. The three biggest stories in college sports. From our local experts at the Locked On Podcast Network. We bring you the real story, why it matters, what's next, who wins the big game, and more, all in 30 minutes. The College Sports Big 3 in 30 starts now with the biggest story in college sports.
Sam Utu does commit.
You are Locked On Bama, your daily podcast on the Alabama Crimson Tide. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
We did say this was going to happen very, very shortly. We felt very strongly about that. Of course, the fine folks at On3 and 24/7 and Rivals and everywhere else also thought that. But so it's good to have confirmation.
We've learned who to believe. That's what it is. Yeah. That's what you're getting here. That's what you're getting here. We know who to believe. This
is a big commitment. I mean, it really is. The pipeline to California to keep that open is huge. And this guy, Jimmy, you and I both believe by the end of the year, rankings wise, he's going to move up, not down.
Sure. And he's ranked fairly well right now. I mean, the best ranking to go by, as we say all the time, is the On3 industry ranking, because it takes into account On3, Rivals, 24/7, and ESPN. Takes into account all the four opinions that matter the most, and then doles it out in a way that makes sense, giving the most weight to On3 and 24/7, who have the best people that do the best rankings. And you add it all up, and the kid is, I think, 106th in the industry ranking, somewhere around there, which makes him borderline elite, because I just myself, and I think Luke agrees, we consider top 100 kids are elite. I mean, the top 100 players in this vast country, you're an elite kid if you're in the top 100. He's right on the cusp. Now, the weird thing about his ranking is he's 106th, even though On3's own ranking, and I think it's the Rivals ranking, doesn't even have him at all, in their national ratings. So once they put him in, and we believe they will at some point, he's going to zoom up well comfortably inside the top 100, making him really elite. But regardless of where he's ranked, all that really matters is, okay, how good is he? He's very good. I mean, his tape's right there in Huddle for anyone that wants to find it. And Orange, California, Orange Lutheran, I think is the name of his school. What I like about him as a player, Luke, is this. I think for guys who aren't 5 stars, they tend to be linemen. I'll tell you a pro tip. For linemen who aren't 5 stars, the 5 stars are really big and really athletic. And it sounds like, shouldn't they all be? Yeah, but when I'm talking about really big and really athletic, there really isn't a whole lot of those kids in a cycle. So what you're left with and what you want is, well, if you can't be both, then be one or the other. And Utu's big. He's a big kid. But what makes him pretty good is his athleticism isn't what I would call second tier. He's a pretty good athlete to be this size. He moves his feet. He's good in the run game. He's good at pulling, getting out in front of the play. He's not as athletic as Booker, but see, Booker's not huge, not yet. The point at Alabama is going to be, once you get him, is, okay, we need to make Booker big like Utu and make Utu a little more athletic like Booker. But that's why they're such a good duo, Luke. I mean, that's what hey, if you want 2 and they're not 5 stars, which are hard to find and get and pay for, this is what you want. You want this duo of, okay, Mr. Power, Mr. Feet, and now you've got a good duo. And I think it's great, especially when you pair them with what Alabama signed last year, with the Jackson Lloyd, Mike Carroll, Mike Adibos, who, by the way, I got a good inside scoop report on him the other day, that Mike Adibos has been very good in the weight room, which was their worry. Their worry was his body. How would he grow? How would he adapt to when things got tough? He's apparently knocking out of the park. So that's great news. And of course, Mal Waldrop, who's just an ultimate sleeper type. But I love how Utu and Booker fit in. And now the key will be signing 1 or 2 more. They need a pure tackle. I hope it's Malachi Lee. That's a big ask, because he's elite. He's elite now. But boy, I would think him and Sam Utu, if they were on one side of the line, that would look fantastic, right? Malachi Lee at like left tackle, Utu at left guard.
God, that would be nice. A few things. First of all, Rivals actually has him as a 4-star
Okay.
as well. ESPN, Rivals, and 24/7 all have him as a 4-star. The only one, weirdly, that doesn't is on 3.
Yeah.
Yet with the composite, he is pretty way up there. In fact, I forgot the number. I'm going to find it right now.
106, I think.
Not
106.
nationally, he's 211.
211.
On the composite. He's
But
102 on 24/7,
77 on right. So he's elite per 2, not ranked per 2, and then the average turns out somewhere around 200. When I say not ranked, I mean nationally.
Yeah, I know.
National
Okay. That makes more sense. Secondly, yeah, you're right. I think that's a good way to put it. When I think of elite offensive linemen right now, if you want an example, I think you go back last year to Jackson Lloyd. Wasn't it Jackson Lloyd that had all these basketball highlights? You're like, oh my God. I mean, can you imagine somebody that big coming down on a break from the wing and he cuts to the goal and they throw an alley-oop to him? It's like, you're fending for your life. So you just move. I mean, you can't take that charge. Not in high school. You can't do that. I mean, you just can't do it. Jackson Lloyd will kill you. And so, but that's what you're saying is that's the exception to the rule. Most big offensive linemen can't do that. And so don't fault Samuel Utu for not being able to do that.
That's right.
As a matter of fact, we're not sure he can't do that. We're just saying we haven't seen highlights of his doing that.
To me, it's like anyone that would say, just go sign the super huge, super athletic guys. That's like saying,
yeah,
why are we wasting all our time with these shorter receivers that run 4.3s or these taller receivers that run high 4.6s? Why don't we sign the taller receivers that run 4.4s?
Right. Yeah.
Well, most of them already play in the National Football League, and the handful that don't, you got to pay them like they do. There's not many of them.
Was it Billy Madison where the guy said, you can't just give him a $500 million company? He said, yeah, can you just give it to him? Just give it. And all right. So the other thing that I thought was interesting about Utu, and this is, tell me, Utu has a career coming up as a country singer if football doesn't work out. He says 2 of the main reasons he came to Alabama, Southern hospitality and Jesus. Now, if that isn't
he's going to fit right in.
Song from when I was at Alabama, just kiss my grits. I mean, that is totally a country song.
He's going to fit right in. With the only thing not fitting in, he may be the only anthropology major on the football team.
Yeah, we talked about that
yesterday. I think a fun quiz would be asking the other 84 guys on the team if they know what anthropology is. That's a good thing. But apparently this is a real and for those that don't know, because that is kind of a unique thing. It's the study of cultures. And I think Sam Utu is multiple culture. He's multiple cultural. I'm sure there's a better word for that, but
I mean, yeah, that's true. If he's multicultural, that's true. So it's kind of like a Frenchman taking French in high school, like he can ace this thing.
I was a great friend. One of my best friends at Alabama for 2 years was one of the tennis. He's one of the tennis players on the tennis team. Me and him were really good buddies, and he's French. He's French Canadian, and he didn't care much for school, so his major was French. Seriously. He'd outspeak. I mean, he's been speaking French his whole life. He majored in French, so I suppose he found something he could pass because he didn't love the school part of being a tennis player for the school. But hey, a good player, good
tennis player. Yeah, of course he was.
Yeah, he was. We'd play for beer. I played tennis. I'd play tennis growing up. I played a lot of tennis growing up. I mean, I was a top 10 player in Alabama when I was like 12. And then anyway, so I was pretty okay. And then got to be friends with him, and we'd play for beer. We'd play for beer, and the score would be 4-0. The set would start out 4-0, and then I'm up 4-0 and 30 love in every game. And we'd play for beer. And I to be honest, I probably lost more than I won. I did win some time, but we'd play for a case of beer, and I'm up 4-0, 30 love, and the score always sounded fun, even though I was probably winning, 1 out of every 6 points.
That's all right. I mean, you're all winners.
Sorry about the tangents. Usually you that go off on the tangents, but I hadn't talked about my
I hear about
talked about my French Canadian tennis buddy in a while.
Ever check your bank account and wonder where'd all my money go? Between dining out, online shopping, and entertainment, it's easy to lose track. That's where Monarch Money comes in, your personal CFO giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app, it's a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, investments, and spending in one place so you stop just managing your money and start building wealth. Instead of juggling multiple apps, you can use Monarch to check your finances, track spending, and even plan long-term goals. Managing money with your partner is smoother than ever. You can track shared and personal accounts, set goals, and stay on the same page without the stress. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONNFL at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONNFL for half off your first year.
The Florida Gators are bringing in some absolute studs for the 2026 recruiting class.
You are Locked On Gators, your daily podcast on the Florida Gators.
We're going to talk about Caden Hall first, who is a 4-star by every recruiting service except for 24/7, where he's a 3-star. I believe their next update is coming in July. I expect him to be a 4-star there. He's listed as 6'2.5", 200 pounds on 3. And that's, one, just insane size to get. But 2, relevant because when you watch his film, it's evident in some things with his game. First off, and I'm doing this in the order in which I saw it on film. So if you're watching film and you see this, you'll know the order in which I'm seeing these things or where my thought process generally is. That's not always how I do it, but it's how I did it with Caden Hall. Explosive first step. You see that on the first play from his highlights from 2024. You see his quick first step and just, zero hesitation to just fire downhill against the run. Like, he is so quick trigger to just see, does the running back have the ball? Then I'm flying downhill. That's pretty much when it can. And you can kind of see it. That's one thing I do enjoy about watching high school film. Is that you can see when kids start to click and when they start to kind of on field, when they recognize, all right, where's the ball? See the ball, get the ball. And Caden Hall is that kind of player where you can kind of watch him process as things are happening, where he sees, okay, running back moving. Does running back have the ball? He does, and fires down. Like, he's running the alley. He's coming in, and he's ready to hit. He is a dude. Like, I love seeing it. I do think that his pursuit angles aren't the best. They're not awful. They're not bad. Like, he's not DJ Douglas out there. His pursuit angles aren't the best, but they're not awful. And that's another thing where, because again, when we're watching a high school film, we're not looking for someone where we go, hey, what is he going to do this fall for the Florida Gators? It's going to be at least a year and 3 months before he's playing a game for the Florida Gators at the absolute earliest. So I'm not looking for someone that is a perfect player. I'm looking for someone that has the athletic traits to translate and perform at the SEC level. And that's what we're looking for with Caden Hall. Like I can mention, pursuit angles, they're not the best, but at the same time, I don't expect them to be. I don't expect to watch a high school safety and watch him come in and know exactly what angle to take at all times and exactly how to make these stops every single time. That's just not realistic. We're looking at something that gets better with experience. It's like talking about DJ Lagway a lot, right? There were points on film in 2024 where we're talking about DJ Lagway and you see some mistakes and you go, oh, well, he's a freshman, that'll get better with time. He'll get more used to he'll get more used to navigating the pocket. He'll get more used to taking that extra half second if needed to make the better throw. He'll get used to doing all these things. They get better with experience. And pursuit angles is something where you kind of just have to go out there, screw it up, figure out what you can and can't do, and then know, all right, this is what I have to do. I was horrible. Like, I'm not a great athlete, right? I've said this many times. And so for me, I'd be like, I got to take a super conservative pursuit angle in terms of making sure I can actually get there because I'm not a fast dude. Caden Hall, not going to have that problem. But again, this is a thing where you're going to get better with experience there. And I will say Caden Hall, one thing he does pretty well is that he has, I want to say, good aware. I was going to say great. I want to say good awareness in zone coverage. He did a good job, and you could see this on film quite a few times, where he is keeping his eyes in the backfield, which oftentimes that's your responsibility there. Keeping his eyes in the backfield, watching the quarterback, and he's got I think it was a tight end and a receiver, and he's got the tight end running not deep but further downfield. Receiver runs a little bit of an out, and Caden Hall kind of he starts at the tight end, comes down to the receiver, and then starts backing up toward the tight end again. And when Caden Hall comes down to the receiver, that's when the quarterback throws the ball to the tight end, and Caden Hall's there to break up the pass. And plays like that are just impressive. Like those kind of instincts in coverage, they're not easy to learn. They're not easy to teach. But once you get it going, again, it's a thing where you have to kind of learn and go out there and do it. And once you get it going, you can be really freaking good. And while Caden Hall, again, he's listed as 6'2.5". So let's say conservatively, we'll go super conservative here. 6'1.5". Let's say they lied by an inch there, right? Even if he's 6'1.5", he looks like he has long arms. I would be willing to bet he's got a wingspan of at least 6'4.5", 6'5". And so when you're a pretty good athlete, good instincts, and that length, you should be able to go in there and make plays on the ball pretty consistently. And that's what you kind of see from him on film when the few times that he was targeted, he's there. He had a few hits where he just absolutely popped the ball carrier. Like I'm not watching it with audio, but I'd imagine if I were there, I'm going to hear the pop of those pads because you could just see the violent intent that he attacks the ball carrier with at times. And first off, you love seeing it from a safety. I mean, I feel like that's been a bit of a lost art, we'll say, of safeties that are coming down and actually looking to pop you. And Caden Hall does exactly that. I love the way that he sifts through traffic. He'll sidestep, and then attack the hole because he's kind of tracking where the running back's going. He lost the running back a little bit, wait for him to pop out, and then go make the play. And he does that a lot. And there are times where even if he's not the one making the tackle, he is just both hands on the ball carrier, and he's not letting go. He's slowing him down while other people come to make the stop if he's not the one making it himself. I love that kind of gang tackle mentality that I feel like we are starting to see come back more again, where we're seeing, intentionally trying to just gang tackle so that someone can try to punch a ball out here and there. Caden Hall, he does play a little high in coverage sometimes, high hip, which again, I mentioned having really long arms. The flip side of that is that you're going to have long legs as well. And so Caden Hall plays a bit high, can just drop the hips a little bit. But again, not surprising for someone that's listed as 6'2.5" to play high. I don't think anybody would be surprised by that if you went, hey, this guy that's really tall, turns out he plays tall too. No one's surprised by that. And the last thing that I did write about Caden Hall's film was just he's confident in everything he does. There is just, there's zero hesitation in anything he's doing on that field. And that's always the thing I've talked about with DBs, especially as well. If you can just move and operate with that level of confidence, even if you're not making a big play, they will come to you. When we're talking about the process, that's what we're talking about. When we're talking about the process and you're playing confident, playing with that confidence, things will come to you. Things will happen for you because you're just moving with that just violent intent that he plays with against the run and the bouncing back and forth in zone coverage. Beautiful play from, again, a very young football player still. And that's one of my favorite things about the high school film is watching these kids. And it's most of them, if not all of them that we're talking about, at least as SEC targets, most of them haven't even scratched the surface of what they can and will become. And so looking at that, I just love seeing that kind of stuff.
There's nothing like the atmosphere of an NBA playoff game. Every bucket, every defensive stop, every moment feels huge. It's electric in the arena. With Gametime, you can be a part of it without the stress of last-minute ticket hunting. Gametime makes it fast and easy to get playoff tickets even when demand is sky high. Prices on the app actually go down as tip-off gets closer, and their last-minute deals can save you up to 60%. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, use code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code LOCKEDON for $20 off. Download Gametime today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
West Virginia football is on fire. That's right, 4 recruits said yes to the Mountaineers today alone.
You are Locked On West Virginia, your daily podcast on the West Virginia Mountaineers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Rhett Morris, as soon as I saw that name Rhett, I was like, what? We got another Rhett on campus now. Coach Rhett Rodriguez's best friend, perhaps, I don't know, but he's at a Don Bosco, which is a big-time high school there in New Jersey. 26 kid out of Ramsey, New Jersey, 6'3", 305 pounds, a 3-star prospect. He's 5.5 rating, so he's right there on the cusp, right? But he's a 3-star player. So he's physical. From the interior, he's got a high motor. I think he'll probably be a center, but he may play some guard. He's got really strong hands and leg drive. He's really good in the run game. He's got quick feet. Hand placement is good. He excels in pass protection. He's relentless. He's got a heck of, and it's, one of the things is this is going to be something that pops up in everybody they recruit. Relentless effort, playing to the whistle, that kind of thing. It's going to be something you notice about every player they go after. Versatile kid, capable of playing, I think, multiple interior positions, left, right guard, or center. Definitely not a tackle, but, he committed today after decommitting from Wake Forest. So that's our third flip of the day. I didn't realize that until I built the show today when I was going over all the notes and typing everything up. So chose West Virginia over Pitt, Virginia Tech, Wake Forest, Boston College, UMass, James Madison, Old Dominion, and others. Jack McNeil, man, getting it done. One of his kids, he's getting his kids in. Spring visit and made the official over the weekend and locked it in. He's the first offensive lineman that West Virginia has targeted, for the interior and in 2026 altogether. And he feels the need because we're going to have to restock on the O-line with 5 guys graduating in 25 and another 4 in 2026. So we've definitely got to continue to do that. And like I said, talent hotbed where Don Bosco is, New Jersey area, that's a big-time college football area. And it's within our recruiting radius, right? And I think that helps bolster our presence in the area. And he made multiple visits and has built strong ties with his coaching staff. Hot piss meter for you. Athleticism is 7.5 out of 10. I think he's got good movement for a 305-pounder. He's got quick feet for pass protection. His size is an 8 out of 10. 6'3", 305 is really good for an interior guy. You'd like to see him a little bigger if you can, but for what Rich Rodriguez does, it's about right? This isn't exactly the kind of scheme you're going to see at, like Neil Brown ran, where maybe you would rather have a guy like Tomas Rimac, who's 6'5" or 6'6" in there. By the way, he's playing tackle now, even though he played guard for us. Virginia Tech's got him playing tackle. If he ends up an All-American at tackle there this year, I'm going to flip. Versatility, you got him at an 8 out of 10, but I guess I should be fair in thinking that we had a pretty damn good tackle, 2 pretty good tackles while he was here, if you consider Nestor. So maybe I should rescind that. But, versatility, like I said, 8 out of 10, you can play guard or either center spot. So that's flexibility. You got to have that. Physicality is probably one of his biggest things. Very relentless kid, has a ton of strength. You'll see him pancake a ton of guys on tape here in a sec. The recruiting buzz is, I got that at an 8 out of 10. You get a flip from a Power 4 school in the ACC and you beat out other Power 4 talent schools like, for a kid that's in New Jersey as well, which is a talent-rich state. That's pretty good. I've got him at a 40 out of 50 I think he's a mauler. I think he's got some Jersey swagger. He's got that Jersey swagger. I don't even know if that's the right accent, but I think the fans are going to like the kid. So let's get to it here as we look at Rhett. Rhett, we can't call him Rhett the Jet, but it does fit if you just pretend like his last name is possibly, or if he plays running back or something. All right, so we'll share a screen here for Rhett the Jet. Maybe we'll call him Rhett for the Jet for how quick he hit that commitment button when he visited West Virginia. So here we go, guys. Rhett Morris, number 64, it says. All right, that's kind of hard to see. We'll try to get there. See, there's those quick feet. You see it right away? Those really quick feet coming off the ball here. Watch how quickly his feet are and watch how quick he gets off. Boom, 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 boom. Nicely done. Nicely done there. You'll take that. So, and then the finish, like that too. Nasty work. Here he is again. See him in pass pro, really strong. Nicely done. And he's got that in every play. This is like almost every play when you watch him, just his game film. Like if you go look up Don Bosco film and figure out who he is and then watch the film, right? What I usually do is I look for their number, position, the school, and then I just Google all that, right? And then if I can't find individual stuff, like full game stuff. Because a lot of times there will be, you can find some individual stuff where somebody has gone through the full game and just put the little arrow where they are the entire of every play instead of just in the cut up, but it's rare. So anyway, because you guys know I like to watch the game, the full, at least one game if I can, or at least a half, just to get some semblance before I come on here when it's like they've committed and I got to get on here. Sometimes I've known about them for a while and I've already done a lot of study. In this kid's case, I've got about a quarter or a half in on him and this tape here. And I think I got enough because I went and looked up who the most talented team on their schedule was and just watched that. That's the best way I could do it. But so what I told you earlier about him, I think is pretty true. The quick feet, he's really dominant in the run and the pass game, really, but especially in the pass pro. He does really good in pass pro. But if you look when he attaches to somebody, they move. Boom. There they go. That's beautifully done, man. Can we watch that one more time? I love to see him engage like that. I mean, this kid's thinking he's going to do something. Look at the leverage here. He's low. He's got bend in his knees and in his hips a little here. And he drives him back 5 yards and pancakes him. We'll take it. Love that. And this is every play. This kid's trying to dirt somebody every play. I love it. I love how he comes out of his stance. He stays low, man. It's just, you don't see it a lot anymore. Like the kid we watched, was it today? He looked like he got out of his stance and then sprinted towards somebody, and this kid's coming out of his stance, chopping his feet, working his way up and engaging. I love to see it. Chop, chop, boom, and just absolutely dominates. And then look at him finish the play. This is every play with this kid. He comes to him, finishes. Here he is again on the left guard. Pass pro, double team. So I don't really, and look at him finish the play again. So you can tell he plays at a big time school. How many high schools do you think got the boom cam like this? Pretty crazy, man. Left guard spot. And he's out of his stance and just mauling dudes in the run game. Holy cow, man, this kid's physical. Yep. Love watching it. It shows on tape as well, man, over and over again. So it's no surprise. Watch him come out of that stance and pull. Yeah, buddy. You like this kid a lot. He's undersized just a tad. It's the only thing you can say, really. You can see why he had multiple Power 4 schools after him, right? Wake Forest, Pitt, NC State, all these others. You see why. It's obvious. It's not like he's some unrecruited kid that we're taking a chance on. Like, this is a good player. And I see why. The only reason he doesn't have more, in my opinion, he's undersized, at the college level. He's 6'3", 300 pounds. It's not small but it's not, you go look at Texas, their guards are 6'5", 320, so it's just a tad undersized. But for what Rich Rod does, he's perfect. We actually, it's one of the things that some people don't like about Rich Rod's offense is we really actually need undersized offensive linemen. Go look at Dan Moses. I mean, guys like that, right? Over Rich Rod's tenure, or Jeremy Sheffy. Those guys are undersized. Sheffy wasn't even playing or guard when he was in high school.